Nintendo knows what they're doing. Woo woo! That's a transition for you. So the news is currently that the pre-orders for something like for Smash Brothers are way ahead of Mario Kart 8, and this is in stark contrast to what the pre-orders have been for most AAA games throughout the year, where the pre-orders have been incredibly down. And the reason why is, people have a lot of faith in Nintendo, I think, and it wasn't in my mind before this, but maybe part of the reason for releasing the 3DS version, releasing it early, was to show people, hey, we've got a grip on this again. This is not going to be Brawl again. We've got a pretty decent game on our hands, and we want to get you excited
give
about
them a taste.
Yeah, exactly. What's good for Nintendo about this is, ever since the release of Mario Kart 8, they are doubling their Wii sales now. And if
over the
year on year, yeah. And if the Smash Brothers Wii U is outpacing Mario Kart 8 in terms of pre-orders, one can only assume that the hardware is going to sell with it.
For some of them.
Some of them. Not to a huge, not necessarily 1-to-1, but because a lot of those people already bought the system when they bought Mario Kart.
It's going to bump it.
But it's going to keep pushing it up. And I think you're going to see the Wii U, especially after Christmas, leave floundering territory and firmly at least enter the territory that it was in with the GameCube, which is successful, not stellar, but it's doing its job.
Yeah, we've said this, at least I've said this the past year and a half. I said, don't count the Wii U out until Mario Kart comes out and Smash Brothers. Then see where it's at. Because up to this point, it's going to be 2 years, it's going to be out this Christmas, and then around now. So now, where is it at? If these games fail, then yes, it's a failure. But if these games sell it, then we're back in business.
But Mario Kart 8 was anything but a failure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying wait. Yeah, exactly. Wait to see how. Yeah. We're not even counting the next Zelda game.
We're not counting the next Zelda. We're not counting Splatoon and some of the other stuff that people got hyped about during E3. And I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you, and this doesn't really affect anything globally, but after a week of using my PS4 and kind of having my honeymoon period with it and enjoying it, I went back to the Wii U last night to get the new tracks, and to play some new stuff. And the Wii U is just such a friendly, pretty vibrant video game console. Like it begs to be played. It's fun. It's video games. There's nothing serious about it. And I'm not saying that you can't take games seriously as a hobby, but it is refreshing to have something like the Wii U available. And I hope more people realize that, and I hope more people buy into it with Smash and realize that, hey, there's a place in my gaming for something like the Wii U.
So this year, Nintendo, up to this point, Nintendo has sold 2 million Wii U units in 2014, compared to Sony, which has sold 8.1 million PS4s. Microsoft only has sold 3.3 million Xbox Ones in comparison. So you're going to get to the point where there's a chance that the Wii U is going to get close to selling the same amount as Xbox Ones. Yeah. And no one would have imagined that. And this is 2 years into Wii U versus only 1 year into the Xbox One, where you're going to have almost matching numbers.
Yep.
Really bad for Microsoft. Not great for Nintendo, but really bad for Microsoft, which that's a whole other topic.
It is a whole other topic, but I mean...
but it's great to see Nintendo get their foothold, as we thought, at least I thought they would at least get to that point.
All this month, Microsoft has dropped the price of, I think, the base console $50,
which has sold more.
They're really trying to close that gap, but
they're not going to catch up at this point.
No, I mean, a lot of my info is regional and comes from behind the counter, but we've seen probably 3 times as many used Xbox Ones come through the store as PS4s. And how many used Wii U's have I seen in the past year? 2. Now, you can argue it's because they weren't selling well, but you can also argue that the people who have them aren't giving them up as quickly.
Sure. Because they still see what's coming down the pike.
Right, because they have a handful of decent games now, and they know they're going to get decent games in the future.
And we're not even counting about what's going to make a lot of money. The Amiibos are going to make tons of money for Nintendo. Because for Smash Brothers, you'll be able to buy and use them.
Yep. Think what you want about them, but Nintendo's going all those anti-Nintendo people, Nintendo's just adding more and more money to their bank accounts. They're not going anywhere.
No. Someone tried to argue with me because on a YouTube comment that there's a website that analyzes the risk of companies going out of business, and they gave Nintendo a 75% chance going bankrupt within the next 2 or 3 years. I said, that is insane. That is not just defying logic or any idea of what bankruptcy actually means. But you are insane to believe that off of any website.
Yeah, find a better website. That's just bullshit data.
That's insane.
Where are you getting that data from? They've already mentioned that they have enough money in their banks to basically operate for 10 years on no profit or something ridiculous like that, or 5 years no profit. I mean,
but that's what's still losing the same amount of money.
Yeah,
they're doing
right.
that.
I mean, it's not going to happen. And yes, I do believe me. I'm a Nintendo fan, but I haven't been a Nintendo console fan since probably the NES until the Wii U. I haven't gotten behind one entirely. I like the GameCube, but Nintendo, they don't always do the things that I think are smart, but they find a way to make the money and come back in the end. And their handhelds are always going to be something that float them.
People always remember, if Nintendo really wanted to, they could just go to handhelds and dominate the earth.
Shut down,
and make tons of money off of just handhelds.
If they shut down the console division, they would lose all the costs associated with it, and they would still sell the same number of 3DSs.
Because the 3DSs make money. The Wii U's don't really turn a profit, but those handhelds sure as hell do.
Yeah.
And then everything's cheaper. The cost of the games, the cost of the hardware, and all the downloads. And don't worry. We know for some weird reason you want a video game company to fail, which is insane to think about, but they're not going to.
I don't really want any video game company to fail.
Well, to me, Sony's not a video game company.
Well, neither is Microsoft.
Microsoft's not.
But, I mean, Sony's been in it for a while.
They've been in it a while.
I want more options. I want the options available to me. I don't want anyone to. I don't want to see any of the good franchises associated with the consoles necessarily to ever go out.
Sure. So we'll see. We'll see after the holiday season. It'll be really interesting to see what Nintendo offers, in terms of a Smash Brothers bundle. And I guess we'll come back in January and see how many more. They do 1 million more. Or something. That'd be cool.
I hate to even talk about it, but Black Friday I think it was Best Buy was doing a Wii U bundle. The Wii U itself comes with Super Mario 3D World.
Okay.
And then it comes with Donkey Kong's Tropical Freeze, which is a way underrated game.
That's like a $40 game, right?
And it also comes with Smash Brothers U.
So you're getting
for $350 or $360.
So
that's insane.
So the base price is usually $300, right?
Yeah.
So you're
getting 3 really good games for $60.
You're basically getting like what, $50 more free or $100 more free, something like that.
I mean, but all 3 of those games are worthwhile. Like I said, Donkey Kong's Tropical Freeze is underrated. Super Mario 3D World is fantastic. In Smash Wii U, I mean, we all basically know what to expect at this point.
Yeah. So I guess again we'll see what happens. Nintendo is gonna give it the Wii U is gonna be around for at least another 3 years easily.
Yep,
it'd be 5 or 6. Nintendo consoles usually 6-7 years. So yeah, don't worry about it. They'll even though Ubisoft and EA stabbed Nintendo in the back and are not publishing any third party.
It's not really hurting them any.
It's not that much as I thought it would.
Yeah,
not having GTA 5 on the Wii U hasn't hurt them as much as I thought it would. It's obviously not good, but you're still catering to those. Well, I'm gonna have either Wii U and a PC or a Wii U and a PS4.
You want a broader software library wherever you can get it. But the fact that Nintendo is not dealing with any fallout from a super buggy version of Assassin's Creed Unity is not hurting them any.
No, it's not hurting them, but not having...
They can say, hey, but our recently released Mario Kart DLC is fucking fantastic. And it is. I mean,
and they have control of that, obviously.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. You have the direct control over the biggest games on your system.
The biggest flaw that people associate with Nintendo systems is that they have no third-party support is also their biggest asset. Most of their best games are first-party, and they are meticulously combed over for problems.
Yeah. And they're almost always... It's hard to think of a game that was received poorly that was...
No one wants to call them AAA because they don't have the budget that the other games do, but they are
AAA.
They're AAA.
They're Nintendo AAA.